In this video I will explain how to replace the rear window regulator on 2000 to 2006 Chevrolet Tahoe. Step number 1. Set the emergency brake. Park the vehicle on a flat surface and place blocks in front and behind the rear wheels for safety. 2. Open the rear door to be repaired and place adhesive tape on the window glass on both sides over the door frame as shown in the image to prevent it from accidentally falling while replacing the damaged window regulator. 3. Remove the door lock lever from the door using a plastic molding removal tool by prying it out as shown in the image. 4. Remove the molding located around the door handle with the same plastic tool mentioned above and pry it as shown in the image to remove it completely. 5. Remove the screw located under the door handle shown in the image using a ratchet, an extension and a 7mm socket. 6. Next, remove the screw located at the bottom of the door panel using a ratchet and a 7mm socket. 7. Remove the power window switch by prying it with the plastic tool as shown in the image. Next, using a small screwdriver, press inward on the connector lock and simultaneously pull it outwards with your hand to disconnect it completely. 8. Proceed to detach and remove the door panel from the door by pulling it up with your hands as shown in the image. 9. Remove the screw that holds the handle with a ratchet and a 10mm socket. 10. Next, detach the plastic clip that holds the handle rod using a small screwdriver as shown in the image. Pull the rod up with your hand while simultaneously pulling the handle forward to remove it completely. 11. Remove the protective plastic by carefully pulling it with your hands as shown in the image. 12. Remove the screws that hold the speaker using a ratchet and a 10mm socket. 13. Next, disconnect the speaker cables by pressing inward on the connector lock with a small flathead screwdriver and pulling outwards simultaneously to disconnect it completely as shown in the image. 14. Loosen the two screws that hold the window glass retaining clips using a ratchet and a 10mm socket. 15. Disconnect the power window motor cable by pressing inward on the connector lock with a small flathead screwdriver and simultaneously pulling the connector back to disconnect it. 13. Next, disconnect the speaker cables by pressing inward on the connector lock with a small flathead screwdriver and pulling outwards simultaneously to disconnect it completely as shown in the image. 14. Loosen the two screws that hold the window glass retaining clips using a ratchet and a 10mm socket. 15. Disconnect the power window motor cable by pressing inward on the connector lock with a small flathead screwdriver and simultaneously pulling the connector back to disconnect it. 16. Remove the screws that hold the electric motor with a ratchet and a 10mm socket as shown in the image. 17. Next, remove the screws that hold the regulator rail with a ratchet and a 10mm socket as shown in the picture. 18. Remove the regulator completely by carefully pulling it through the door cavity where the regulator motor is located, paying attention on which side slides out first, that way you can install the new window regulator in the reverse order. 19. Loosen the screws of the clips that hold the window glass on the new window regulator and install it in its original location. 20. Next, bend and squeeze the small tabs at the base of the regulator motor with needle nose pliers as shown in the image and proceed to tighten the bolts that hold the regulator and window motor at the specs listed in your owner's manual. 21. Next, make sure that the clips that hold the window glass are in the correct position and proceed to tighten the bolts at the specs listed in your owner's manual. Connect the window motor cable and temporarily connect the power window switch. Remove the adhesive tape and proceed to roll the window glass down and up a couple of times. If everything works correctly, disconnect the power window switch and proceed to install the remaining components in the reverse order in which they were removed, ensuring that all connections and screws are secured correctly according to the owner's manual. Congratulate yourself for having performed a successful repair and for saving money at the same time. Have a wonderful day.